Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at XLM, and we're going to be comparing XLM's bear market from 2018, 2019, 2020, and we're going to be comparing it to what XLM has been doing since the top that came in 2021 and what we're doing right now compared to what we did in the past. So the first thing that we want to look at is the pattern that XLM has been following ever since the top came in 2021. So we can see that ever since XLM topped right here, which is this right here, is the 2021 bull market and the 2022-2023 bear market, and this right here is XLM's 2017 bull market and the 2018, 2019, and 2020 bear market. So we can see that ever since XLM topped right here, it's been following this descending wedge that it's been stuck in for from the top that came in May of 2021 until we got out of it in January of 2023. So it was following this pattern for a very long time, just like we did in the 2017 bear market. And then after XLM broke out of this pattern, it came out of it and then it came back down to kind of flip it as support. So if we zoom into the chart, we can see that that's what XLM did once it broke out of this pattern. It broke out of it and then it kind of came back down to like cement it as support. So if we see what XLM did in 2023 bear market, we can see it once XLM broke out of this level right here, it went up and then it came back down to flip it as support. And then after that, it had this move up right here, which would kind of be similar to like this move that it had right here, and then it just came back down, kind of accumulated, like traded around here for a little bit, not going lower than these levels right here. So this is the level that this would be at. So once XLM came back down, it didn't go lower than this level right here, and then it just kind of played around, accumulated here for a little bit, and then that's when it got its big breakout, and we continued up higher. So we could also see, if we zoom into what XLM did after this move right here, we could see that the way that XLM is moving right now is actually very similar to how it moved in the 2020 bear market, because this right here was in the 2020 bear market right when Bitcoin was actually going up to break its all-time high. So this right here is actually ahead on schedule of this move. So this is like us going into a bull market, and this is, we're still kind of in a bear market, so there's no bull market right now, but this is actually when Bitcoin was breaking out into an all-time high. But we can see that the patterns are very similar if we do compare them. So if we take it from the top, we could see that XLM did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we zoom into what XLM did before, we can kind of see that it did the same exact thing of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can see that the patterns are very similar, even in the way that they move down. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just doing this right here is very similar to what we did. So we could see that both like charts are very similar. So I'm not saying like, this is not advice of like, oh, this is going to be the next big move for XLM after this accumulates. I'm just comparing the 2018, 2019, and 2020 bear market of XLM, and I'm comparing it to what it's doing right now to kind of get an idea of like where we are in the bear market and if we're still playing out as we should. I'm not saying that it's going to still exactly follow what it always does or what it did before, and I'm not saying that the next move for XLM is going to be this one right here. I'm just kind of showing you guys this to just get a better understanding of like how deep we are into a bear market, and if we could kind of like get an idea of like if we're kind of like on track or if we're not, or if we're doing something that's not supposed to be happening. And as we can see right here, that XLM is looking pretty good. I mean, I've been following this pattern for a long time, and I had it ever since it was in this descending wedge, I guess, that we were following. And yeah, once we broke out of it, I was kind of expecting it to do this thing that it did right here, which is, it made me happy that it did this because it showed me that we're still kind of on track. And even when we got this breakout, we were kind of expecting it, and we did get this breakout just like we did. The only difference is at this time when XLM was doing these moves, Bitcoin was at a new all-time high, but right now Bitcoin is still like 35 or like 39,000 below its all-time high, and that's the only difference. So that's why I'm not saying like this would be the next move for XLM, but as of right now, like the charts look very similar, and we are still like doing exactly what we should be doing. So it is good to see that XLM is doing this, and I am very bullish on XLM considering that um, it did just break out and we did get a big move up. And if we actually zoom in to see what XLM is doing, it actually just came back down to flip this area as support. So if we see where XLM stopped, it stopped right here around this area, which is basically it's trying to flip this level right here as support, which was previously resistance. So even like the way we're playing out on how low we went on the price, like it makes sense to pull back down to these levels, because once you get a breakout of like resistance that literally was like resistance since like November. So from November until like we got out in July, it's been like 8 months that we've been stuck in this range. So to see us come out of it, it's not unlikely to see us come back down and flip it as support. So it is pretty bullish that it's holding these levels. And just like we saw right here, once XLM broke out, it actually just came back down to flip this area right here as support, which is it makes sense for it to do that. And then you guys could see what happened after we got this big move up. I'm not saying it is going to be that big move up, but we could see that the charts, they're not broken, they're not doing anything weird, they're not like following something that we haven't seen before. Also, just to get an idea of how long we've been in the bear market, I want to see like from the top until the area that I think we're in right now, how long that took. So if we see how long XLM has been in a bear market for, we could measure it and get about 834 days. And if we go to XLM, it's probably going to be a little bit more. That's why I'm saying that I don't like it necessarily doesn't have to happen like that move, like this move right here. I'm not saying it's gonna happen because this was way deeper in a bear market. It was actually in a bull market that we got this move. So I'm not really expecting it to happen, but if it does, that'll be great. But it's not something that I'm exactly like looking for it to happen. So we could see from the top until 834 days, it was about right here. So to kind of get an idea of how deep XLM has been in the bear market, or just the crypto market in general, like how long we've been in the bear market, this is where like we would be if you guys went through the 2018, 2019, and 2020 bear market. So if we did go like based off time, like this is where we would be technically, and we would be just like coming out of the bear market going into a new bull market. This was like a couple months after COVID happened. So maybe we keep following and we keep going up like after like cementing this as support. But the only thing is right now we have to see what Bitcoin is doing, because like I said, Bitcoin is not in a new all-time high, and it's still in the bear market and no one really knows what's going to happen. So Bitcoin capitulates and it goes, people are screaming for 12,000, 15,000. Who knows if it's going to continue going up or if it's going to keep going down. I think going down to 12,000 or 10,000, that would be just bad in the long term, because you guys can see how long we've been in the bear market. For us to go down to these levels, is just there's not enough time for us to go down to these levels, flip it as support somehow, which we last time we went to 15,000. So if we go to 12,000, it's only 3,000 less. So it might go down more and it might not be a good bullish sign in the long term. And considering how deep we are in a bear market, I don't think it's gonna go down to that level and just grind up within a year. I think if that happens, we might be like doomed for like a year, 2 3, like who knows. So I think it's better that we either hold or we continue going up. Or if we have a pullback, it shouldn't be that big of a pullback considering how long we've been in a bear market. And yeah, that's why I think XLM is gonna do really good. And like for people that don't understand like how hard the bear market is, like the bear markets are hard, they're not easy. Like it's kind of like you have to notice like who's really building in a bear market. Those are the ones that are gonna really like do good in the bull market. Like the coins that are like doing improvements, that are like getting accomplishments, that are like having some hype around them in the bear market, like those are the ones that are gonna shine in the bull market, because they're basically working in preseason. Like they're grinding right now, like improving and getting better. So once the bull market hits, I have no doubt that they're gonna um, do good in the bull market. So it's good to pay attention and understand what's going on right now, because it happens so quick and just people miss it. And like to be able to understand how deep you are into something and be willing to push through. Like